and welcome. I'm Joey Bridges. I am joined by my brother James Bridges, and today what we'd like to talk about, I think, is something that many people feel helps them, but what it actually does is it leads them into near disaster, near what James likes to call survival mode, and that is when you're a jack of all trades, master of none. I think people have heard that before, meaning, hey, you know a whole bunch of things, but you're not really in depth at one particular. You're not focused, in other words.
Yeah, you're not, and I think it plagues a lot of, this doesn't just plague real estate professionals, but it's very dominant in the real estate industry. You kind of have a lot of, pots on the stove brewing away, hoping that you cook something, and reality is you won't cook anything at all.
It's a very interesting way to put it. It's like throwing a bunch of garbage in a pot. This is going to be soup.
This is going to be something. Yeah, it's going to be something. And I think the fear is, okay, well, look, at least if I have a bunch of things going, I throw $50 at this, $39 at this, $69 at that, $54 at that a month, at least something should turn out of that. The real challenge with that is what ends up happening most often is nothing really ends up working consistently. So you're always on the income roller coaster. And I think one of the easiest ways to look at it is this. Take your 7% rule. And for those of you who are new to 7% rule, hey, 7% of your average commission. Let's just take $300. $3,000 is your average commission. So that's $210. So then you need to spend that $200, at least monthly, if we want one transaction. Spend that on one type of marketing, not on 4 different marketings, hoping that one will work out, but really dedicate toward one, so you give yourself the best possible opportunity at one closing a month. At least then you can have some focus, because otherwise, sadly, what we're finding out is, hey, too many people are trying a bunch of things and spending a good amount of money and not getting any results.
And maybe you have to look at it, and here's why James and I want, and you have to do it for more than 1 month. Let me just tell you that up front. A lot of, well, I spent $200, it didn't work out, and I'm thinking to myself, if I had money for every time, if I had a return for every time James and I spent $200 and it didn't work, that's why we test. That's why we figure out it works. You may be a headline change away from success. You may be a picture change in the ad from success. You may be changing out your phone number for an 800 number line for success. You may be a domain name away from success with a lot of our paid ads and things like that. However, you'll never know if you don't put in that second $210. And remember, we're always looking at a return on your money. So in James's example, $3,000 commission, and you had spent, even if it was really bad what you did, but you went 3 months in a row of $210. And yes, when James and I started, we didn't have the $210. Yes, we had to use it on a credit card. Yes, sometimes you may have to borrow from a friend or family, but trust me, when you do it, you actually make it work. $630, if I'm correct there, James, into $3,000 is still a good deal if you've learned along the way.
Yeah, if then you can make it a predictable system. Yes, then you can make it a predictable system. And I would say to people, be honest with yourself. No matter what system you're following, make sure you followed all the rules and be really accountable to this. I've seen some people, well, I've tried 5 other programs and none of them have worked. Okay, well, let's be a little more honest with ourselves. Maybe it wasn't the programs. Let's look at ourselves. Hey, let's just say if you were, did you follow every item that was given to you on a schedule? Hey, if it said post 6 ads 3 times a day, did you really do it? Or did some days you do 4 ads? Did some days you do 5 ads? Some days you hit, hey, maybe 18. Be real honest with yourself and really hold yourself accountable. Say, hey, did I give myself the best opportunity to get this? I've been on some calls where someone's like, well, I've done expires. So that's great. I do them 2 days a week. Okay, well, and I'm not taking expires. Well, why not 5 days a week? Well, sometimes stuff comes up. Well, most expired systems, hey, really count on you working Monday through Friday, at least an hour each morning. Hey, either whether you're sending letters, making calls, etc. But be really honest with yourself to find out why that system isn't working. Because otherwise, then you keep, hey, a little over here, a little over there, and then you're going to be stuck in that, hey, jack of all trades, master of none, and that's going to keep you stuck in survival mode.
So we'd like you to suggest that you pick one thing for the next 30 or 60 days to focus on and get good at. One system to put in place. If you've never spent a marketing dollar before, now might be a good time to be able to do that. But focusing on something that you're going to commit to, and understand you're going to commit to it. If you're spending $210 for a month, 5 days a week, you better figure out how to make that $210 work for you. That's what you have, that's what you have. However, if you're putting it in the right direction, you will be well rewarded with your commitment to it. So I would think now would be a good time. I mean, now's always a good time.
Now's a good time. So pick something. Hey, maybe that means going back and eliminating, cutting some of the other odds and ends items. Cut that $30 here, $40 there, $50 there. Cut those other things and say, hey, what can I spend a focused amount of money on to start working for me?
And by the way, if you are truly committed to your success, I have had people purchase products from us, just for example, as birthday presents, as Christmas presents. Sometimes in order to get to that next level you want, you have to make a sacrifice. So if you need to find $210, do what you have to do to find that 210, 140, or $300, whatever it is your 7% rule is in your area. On behalf of James, I'm Joey Bridges. To your success, not being the jack of all trades, master of none.